Hello students, I'm Sai Baba here. So in my previous class, I was showing you the list of the formulae for moments of inertia of some of the regular objects about an axis of symmetry passing through center of mass. So on the screen, this is the last result I have shown you in the previous class. That is, I have shown you the formula for moment of inertia of uniform circular disk. Mass and radius are about its central axis of symmetry. You can observe that same formula I have given for moment of inertia of uniform solid cylinder of mass m and radius r about the geometrical axis of cylinder. That means a circular disk can be considered as equivalent to cylinder whose length is very small compared to its radius. In case you are asked to find the radius of gyration k, you can write I equal to mk square, not only in this case, in any other result also. So moment of inertia of rigid body about a given axis can be expressed in the form I equal mk square. So if you write I equal mk square, you get the value of k square by r square equal to 1 by 2 about the central axis of symmetry for uniform circular. Central axis of symmetry means the imaginary straight line perpendicular to the circular faces of the disk passing through center of mass of the disk. This we call central axis. So next I am going to show you one more formula in the list of the results I was discussing in continuation to the previous class result. Then I would like to solve some problems on moment of inertia. So look at the screen first, next result. So in case you are copying the notes and writing the notes, you can take a pause and write the notes. So the moment of inertia of a thin uniform rectangular plate of length A, breadth B, and mass M about the axis perpendicular to the rectangular faces and passing through its center of mass is given by I equal to m into a square plus b square by 12. So those who are copying the formulae and writing the notes, they can take a pause and copy this result. So next I would like to discuss some problems based on the calculation of radius of gyration and moment of inertia system of particles. So look at the problem I have shown on the screen. So look at the problem 2. The problem 1 I have discussed earlier in rotational kinematics. I am just numbering the problem from beginning of rotational motion. So I will once read out the problem, then we'll discuss the one by one. 3 identical point masses are placed at the 3 corners of an equilateral triangle of side of length A. What is the radius of gyration of system of the 3 particles about the axis perpendicular to the plane of the triangle and passing through? I have given 3 parts in the problem. First part of the question, centroid of the triangle. Second part of the problem, one of the corners of the triangle. Third part of the question, midpoint of one of the sides of the triangle. So first part of the problem comes under one of the special cases I have discussed in my previous class. So in the first part of the question, here we are given that there are 3 point masses placed at the 3 vertices of an equilateral triangle with side of length A. You are asked to find the radius of gyration system of the three particles about the axis passing through the centroid of the triangle and perpendicular to the plane of the triangle. So let G denote the centroid of the triangle. So you have to find the radius of gyration for system of three particles about the axis perpendicular to plane of the triangle. That means imagine that the axis is perpendicular to plane of figure we are showing on the graph and passing the centroid G. So all the three particles are situated at same distance or from centroid. As we have studied in elementary mathematics, in the case of an equilateral triangle, distance of each vertex or each corner of the equilateral triangle from centroid of the triangle will be equal length of each side of the triangle by root 3. The distance of each vertex or each corner of an equilateral triangle from the centroid of the triangle will be equal length of each side of the triangle divided by root 3. So as I discussed in one first special case, I mean if you consider the first special case I have discussed in the calculation of the moment of inertia and radius of gyration system of particles, as I told you, if all the particles of system are situated same distance or from the axis, then the radius of gyration of system of the three particles or system of the particle will be same as the distance of each particle from the axis. So here distance of each particle from the axis is same, which is equal to A by root 3. Therefore, radius of gyration of system of three particles about the axis passing through centroid of the triangle and perpendicular to the plane of the triangle will be equal to A by root 3. So that means I directly use the conclusion I discussed in one of special cases in the previous class. In the second problem, you are asked to find radius of gyration of the system of three particles about the axis perpendicular plane of the triangle passing through one of the corners of the triangle. So in the second part of the question problem, you are asked to find the radius of gyration of system of the three particles about the axis passing through one of the corners of the triangle and perpendicular to the plane of the triangle. So one of the particles now lies on the axis. So distance r1 of first particle from the axis can be taken as 0. The second and third particles are situated at same distance equal to A from the axis. So the axis passing through one of the corners of the triangle and perpendicular plane of the triangle. So therefore, one of the particles lies on the axis. The other two particles are situated same distance r equal to A from the axis. So here it is given that all the three particles have same mass. M1 equal to M2 equal to M3. I denote the mass of each particle by small m. So moment of inertia of system of the three particles is given, can be written as I equal M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus M3 R3 square. Here M1 equal to M and R1 is 0. M2 is also equal to M, R2 equal to A. R3 is also equal to A. So moment of inertia of the system of the three particles about the axis passing through one of the corners and perpendicular plane of the triangle 2ma square. Total mass of system I denoted by capital M, which can be written as sum of the masses of the three particles of system. Here all the three particles have same mass. I denoted mass of each particle by small m. So total mass system of the three particles is equal to 3 times the mass of one of the particles. So in general, moment of inertia of system of particles about a given axis can be written as I equal to mk square, where capital M is the total mass of system and k is the radius of gyration of system of the particles about that axis. So as I discussed in the earlier class, the radius of gyration k can be written as root of capital I by capital M. Here capital I equal to 2 small m into small a square. So capital M equal to 3 into small m. So you get a into root of 2y3. So that's the answer for second question, which I have already shown here on the screen. So those who want to copy the solution of this problem, they can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. Next, I would like to discuss the third problem. Third part of the question. So in the third part of the problem, you are asked to find the radius of gyration system of three particles about the axis perpendicular to the plane of the triangle and passing through midpoint of one of the sides of the triangle. So if the three vertices are named as A, B, C. So one particle is at the corner A, second particle is at the corner B, third particle is at the corner C. All the three particles have same mass. Let M be the midpoint of the one of the sides of the triangle, midpoint of side BC. So you have to find the radius of gyration system of the three particles about the axis perpendicular plane of the diagram and passing through the point M. So distance of the first particle from the point M denoted by R1, I mean perpendicular distance. Distance of second particle from the point M denoted by R2. Distance of third particle by R3. Here length of each side of the equilateral triangle is A. The internal angle at each vertex is 60 degrees. So in the triangle ABM, R2 equal to R3 equal to AY2. Of course, this is in the figure. In the triangle ABM, R1 by A. R1 will be equal to height of the triangle, which is the perpendicular distance of the vertex A from the midpoint of side BC. That is the side ABM is a right angle triangle. R1 is the length of side opposite triangle 60 degrees and A will be the length of hypotenuse side. So that will be equal to sine 60 degrees. So R1 equal to A into sine 60 degrees is root 3 by 2. So you can try to imagine the situation for third part of the question. The axis perpendicular plane of the triangle and passing through the midpoint of one of the sides of the triangle. So the axis in this case perpendicular plane of the triangle and passing through midpoint of one of the sides of the triangle. That is passing through the point M, which is the midpoint of side BC. So perpendicular distance of the first particle at the vertex A from this axis is denoted by R1, which is equal to A root 3 by. Perpendicular distance of second particle from this axis is equal to half of the length of side BC, that is equal to A by 2. Perpendicular distance of third particle from the same axis is also equal to A by 2. So moment of inertia of the system of the three particles about this axis passing through the point M and perpendicular to the plane of the triangle can be written as M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus M3 R3 square. And so in this case, the masses of all the three particles are equal. Just like in the earlier example, I have denoted the mass of, in the previous example, I have denoted mass of each particle by small m. So I follow the same notation again. Can write M1 equal to M and R1 equal to A root 3 by 2. Okay. And M2 equal to small m and R2 is A by 2. M3 is also equal to small m and R3 is also equal to A by 2. This you can simplify it further. So if you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem, and you can also try to complete the simplification part. So you get MA square into 5 by 4. So radius of gyration system of the three particles can be written as, just like in the earlier problem, here also can use the same equation. K equal root of capital I by capital M. Capital M is the total mass system of three particles, which you can write it as equal to sum of the masses of the three particles. That will be equal to 3 times the mass of one of the particles. So mass of one of the particles I have denoted by small m. Total mass system of three particles by capital M. So this you can simplify this. So you get K equal to A into root of 5 by 12. Or you can also write the answer for third part of the question as A into root 5 by 2 root 3. So if you want to copy this solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So next I have given one more problem based on the same situation which I discussed in the previous problem. I will again read out the problem 3 shown on the screen. In the previous question, find the radius of gyration system of three particles about one of the sides of the triangle. That means the axis is now coinciding with one of the sides of the triangle. Let us suppose A, B, C represents three vertices of equilateral triangle with each side of length A. So here axis is coinciding with one of the sides of the triangle. Let us suppose the axis is coinciding with the side BC of the equilateral triangle. That means second and third particles in this case, M2 and M3 lie on the axis. So here you can take R2 equal to 0 and R3 equal to 0. So whatever calculation I explained in the previous question, for calculation of R1, same calculation applies now also. So R1 is the perpendicular distance to the first particle at the vertex A from the axis which coincides with the side BC of the equilateral triangle. So R1, as we have discussed, equal to A into root 3 by 2. So moment of inertia of the system of the three particles about the axis coincide with the side BC can be written as I equal M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus M3 R3 square. Here, mass of each particle are denoted by small m, just like in the previous two examples. So R1 equal to A root 3 by 2. So R2 is 0. R3 is also 0. So you get moment of inertia system of 3 particles equal to 3 ma square by 4. So radius of gyration system of 3 particles is given by root of capital I by capital M. So capital I equal to 3 ma square by 4. Capital the total mass of system that is equal to 3 times the mass of one of the particles. So you get the answer as K equal to A by 2. In case you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So next I want to discuss the next problem. It's similar problem with 4-point masses. So look at the screen for the problem. So look at the problem 4. 4 identical point masses are placed at the 4 corners of a square of side of length L, that you can write small letter L here. What is the radius of gyration system of the 4 particles within bracket in terms of small l? There are again 3 parts in this question also. First part of the question about one of the sides of the square. In the second part of the question, of course, I will solve one by one. I will first solve the first part of the question. They are asked to find radius of gyration system of the 4 particles in terms of about one of sides of the square. So that means the axis is coinciding with one of the sides of the square. Let us suppose capital A, capital B, capital C, and capital D denote the 4 corners of a square with side of length denoted by small letter L. 4 identical point masses are placed at the 4 corners, means vertices of the square. They are asked to find the radius of gyration system of the 4 particles about one of sides of square. That means the axis in this case is coinciding with one of the sides of the square. Let us suppose the axis coincides with the side AD of the square. So that first particle at the corner A lies on axis. So distance of first particle from the axis will be 0. The second particle at the corner B is at a distance R2 equal to L from the axis. The third particle is also at a distance R3 equal to L from the axis. The fourth point mass placed at the corner D also lies on the axis. So distance of D, radial distance of fourth particle on the axis can also be taken as 0. All the 4 particles have same mass, they are identical point masses. So M1 equal to M2 equal to M3 equal to M4. Let small m denote the mass of each particle. Therefore, moment of inertia system of the particles is given by I equal to M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus M3 R3 square plus M4 R4 square. Here M1 equal to M, R1 is 0. M2 is also equal to M, R2 equal to L. M3 equal to M, R3 is also L. M4 equal to small m, R4 is 0. So you get zero plus ml square plus ml square plus 0. So moment of inertia of system of the four particles about the axis coinciding with one of the sides of the square will be 2 ml square. So total mass system of the four particles are denoted by capital M. That is called M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4. Here all the 4 point masses are identical. All the 4 point masses are equal. So mass of each particle have denoted by small m. So total mass system of the 4 particles will be 4 times the mass of one of the particles. So radius of gyration of system of the point masses is given by using the same formula which I used in the earlier example, root of capital I by capital M. So capital I equal to 2 into small m into L square. Capital M equal to 4 into small m. So that is equal to root of L square by 2. Or you get K equal to L by root 2. That's the answer for the first part of the question. So if you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So in the first part of the question, answer is L by root 2. In the second question, you have to find the radius of gyration of system of the 4 particles about one of the diagonals of the square. That means the axis coincides with one of the diagonals of the square here. So again, I name the 4 vertices by the capital letters A, B, C, D. So the axis is coinciding with one of the diagonals of the square. The 4 point masses are placed at the 4 corners of the square. So in this case, you can observe that the first mass M1 lies on the axis. So distance of first mass M1 from axis can be taken as 0. The same way third point mass M3 also lies on the axis. So distance of third point mass M3 from the axis can be taken as 0. Let R to denote the perpendicular distance, a second point mass placed at the corner B from the axis. R4 denote the radial distance, means perpendicular distance of fourth point mass on the axis. So here the axis is passing through center of square and lies in the plane of square coinciding with one of the diagonals of square. That means here R4 and R2 are equal and each is equal to half of the length of the diagonal of square. It's smaller the length of one of sides of square, length of the diagonal of square you are expected to know will be root 2 times the length of one of the sides. So this comes out to be L by root 2. So moment of inertia system of 4 particles is given by I equal to M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus M3 R3 square plus M4 R4 square. Here all the 4 point masses are equal. We denote the mass of each point mass by small m. R1 is 0 here. R2 equal to L by root 2. R3 is also 0. Mass of each particle is small m. R4 equal to L by root 2. So you get moment of inertia of the system of the 4 point masses about one of the diagonals will be equal to ml square. And radius of gyrator system of the particles is given by K equal to the root of capital I by capital M. This is ml square. Total mass of the system is equal to 4 times the mass of one of the particles. So you get the answer as L by 2 for second one. So if you want to copy the solution of this second part of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution. For second part of the problem, answer is L by 2. So there is one more question here. You have to find third part of the problem. You have to find the radius of gyration system of 4 particles about the axis, perpendicular plane of the square and passing through center of the square. So this problem comes out of one of the special cases which I discussed earlier. That if all the particles of a system are situated same distance r from the axis, when all the particles of system are situated same radial distance or perpendicular distance r from the axis, and the radius of gyration of system of the particles same as the radial distance of each particle from the axis. So in this case, the axis is perpendicular to the plane of the square and passing through the center of square. So radial distance or perpendicular distance of each particle from the axis is equal to half of the length of the diagonal, that is distance of each vertex from the or each corner of square from center of the square will be equal to L by root 2. So that will be the answer for question number 3. That means I have directly made use of one of the conclusions which I discussed in one of the special cases in the previous class. The conclusion is, if all the particles of a system are situated same perpendicular distance r from the axis, the radius of gyrator system of the particles is same as the radial distance of each particle from that axis. So for third part of the question, answer will be L by root 2. There is one more part in the same question, which I am going to show you in the next slide. That means here also again 4 identical point masses are placed at the 4 corner square of side of length L. So I am going to read out the question for the fourth part of the problem. What is the radius of gyration system of the 4 particles about axis perpendicular to the plane of the square and passing through one of its corners? So the axis is passing through one of the corners of the square and perpendicular to the. So in the fourth part of the question, you have to find the radius of gyration of system of the 4 particles about the axis passing through one of the corners of square and perpendicular to the plane of the square. So the perpendicular distance, the length of each side of square is L. So perpendicular distance of one of the first mass placed at the corner is from the axis, you can take R1 equal to L. The second particle placed at one of the corners, say at the corner B, lies on axis. That means we are trying to find the calculate the radius of gyration system of the particles about the axis perpendicular plane of square and passing through one of the corners, say at the corner B. For second point mass placed at the corner B, the second point mass placed at the corner B lies on the axis, so distance of the second mass from the axis is 0. The perpendicular distance of the third mass from the axis is equal to L. Or you can show 2-dimensional figure also. If you draw the 2-dimensional figure, you have to imagine that axis is perpendicular plane of this figure and passing through the corner B. So axis. In the two-dimensional figure, we don't show the axis. You have to imagine that the axis is passing through the corner B and perpendicular plane of the diagram. Then distance of the fourth particle from the axis. Will be equal to length of the diagonal square or distance between the opposite corners B and D. That is equal to root 2 times the length of one of the sides of square. So moment of inertia of system of the four particles can be written as I equal to m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square plus m4 r4 square. The mass of each particle is same, which is denoted by small m. Here r1 equal to L. Mass of each particle denoted by small m. R2 equal to 0. R3 equal to L. R4 equal to L root. So you simplify this. If you can simplify this, so you get moment of inertia of system of the four particles equal to 4 ml square. So radius of gyrator system of the 4-point masses is given by k equal to root of capital I by capital M. Capital I equal to 4 into small m into L square. Capital M is the total mass of the system, that is equal to 4 times the mass of one of the particles. So in this case you get k equal to L. In case you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for the question number fourth part of question, answer is L. For the question which I discussed just now. So I am going to show next problem, the problem number 5. Two uniform circular discs of same material. I am going to read the next problem, problem 5. Two uniform circular discs of same material of thickness in the ratio 3:2 have masses in the ratio 2:3. They are rotating about their respective axes of symmetry with angular speeds in the ratio 3:2. Then what is the ratio of their kinetic energies of rotation? So to compare the ratio of their kinetic energies of rotation, you have to first find the ratio of their moments of inertia. So kinetic energy of a rigid body performing pure rotational motion about a fixed axis with an angular speed omega. As I discussed in my previous class, is given by half I omega square. So using that formula, the kinetic energy of rotation of one of the circular disc about the axis of rotation, you can write half I1 into omega 1 square. The kinetic energy of rotation of second circular disc can write half I2 into omega 2 square, where I1 and I2 denote the moments of inertia of the two circular discs about their respective axes of rotation, and omega 1 and omega 2 denote their angular speeds of rotation. So you are already given the ratio of the angular speeds of 3:2. That means omega 1 is to omega 2 is given as 3:2. So to find the ratio of the kinetic energies of rotation, you have to first find the ratio of their moments of inertia. To find the ratio of the moments of inertia, you must know the ratio of the masses and ratio of the radius of first disk and radius of second disk. You are given the ratio of the masses as 2:3. So you have to first find the ratio of the radii of the two circular disks. So if you consider thin uniform circular disk with radius r and thickness t, then mass you are given that they are made up of same material, so density will be same for both. So mass of the disk you can write volume of the disk into density. Let small d denote the density of the material of each disk. Volume of circular disk can be the product of face area and thickness t. The face area of the circular disk can be pi into Kepler square, because each face of circular disk will be in the form of circle of radius r. So face area of the circular disk is given pi r square. So volume of circular disk can write A into T. A can be written as pi r square. So mass of the uniform circular disk of radius r, thickness t, can be written as pi into Kepler square T into D, where D is the density of the material of the disk. So you are given the ratio of the masses. So mass of the first circular disk can be written as pi into R1 square into T1 into D. R1 is the radius of first circular disk and T1 is the thickness of the first disk. D is the density of the material of each disk. So mass of second circular disk can write pi into R2 square in T2 into D. R2 is the radius of second circular disk and T2 is the thickness second circular disk. So ratio of the masses of the two circular disk is equal to square of the ratio of the radii multiplied by the ratio of thicknesses. Density D is same for both the circular disks, because both the circular disks are made up of same metal, same material. So it's given that ratio of the masses is 2:3. That means you are given that M1 is to M2 is 2:3. You are given the ratio of thicknesses equal to 3:2. So T1 is to T2 is 3:2. So M1 by M2 you can write 3 by 2 by 3. And T1 by T2 equal to 3 by 2. So from this you can find the ratio of R1 square by R2 square. So therefore, so R1 by R2 whole square, you get 2 by 3 whole square, or R1 by R2 will get 2 by 3. So moment of inertia of first circular disk about the central axis of symmetry can write M1 R1 square by 2. Let I2 denote moment of inertia of second circular disk, which you can write M2 into R2 square by 2. So ratio of the moments of inertia of the two circular disks is equal to ratio of their masses multiplied by square of the ratio of the radii. Ratio of the masses is 2:3. So M1 by M2 can write 2 by 3. R1 by R2 whole square can be written as 2 by 3 whole square. So ratio of the moments of inertia, you get I1 by I2. You get 8 by 27. You can substitute here. That is KE1 is the kinetic energy of rotation of first circular disk, KE2 is the kinetic energy of rotation of second circular disk. So I1 by I2 can write 8 by 27, and ratio of the angular speeds is given to be 3:2. So omega 1 is to omega 2 is 3:2. So omega 1 by omega 2, we can write 3 by 2. So we can simplify this result and complete the problem. Come on, if you are interested to copy the solution of the problem, please take a pause and finish copying the solution of the problem. So for the problem 5, which I just discussed now, you get the answer as 2:3. So I would like to discuss one more problem in this class. Look at the problem number 6. Two uniform solid spheres having masses in the ratio 4:9 are made up of different materials with densities in the ratio 3:2. What is the ratio of first part question? The radius of gyration about a diameter. The second part of the question, you're asked to find moments of inertia about a diameter. So let us solve the two questions. To find the ratio of the radius of gyration, you have to first find the ratio of the radius of the two spheres. Just like in the earlier example, we have first calculated ratio of the radius of the two circular disks. The similar way, you have to find the ratio of the radius of the two spheres. If M1 and M2 denote the masses of the two spheres, M1 is to M2 is given to 4:9. And D1 and D2 are the densities of materials of the two spheres. D1 is to D2 is given to be 3:2. So mass of uniform solid sphere can be written as product of its volume and density. So volume of sphere can be written as 4 by 3 r cube. So ratio of the masses of the two spheres, we can write cube of the ratio of the radii multiplied by ratio of the densities. The ratio of the masses is 4:9. So ratio of the densities is given to be 3:2. So from this you get the ratio of the radii. So I will continue the discussion of this problem in my next class.